This episode is brought to you by Resy and American Express. Resy is a digital platform that connects restaurants to restaurant lovers by elevating dining experiences, providing original industry content, and helping to fill some of the country's most exciting dining rooms. Because restaurants have always been more than just places to eat. The amazing world of restaurants is just a few taps away in the Resy app and at resy.com.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Dining in LA is all about what we call the schlep. This is not New York. We aren't always in walking distance of greatness or just a solid neighborhood restaurant. You want a great restaurant in Los Angeles, you are schlepping almost always.
This is Taste. I'm your host, Matt Rodbard. We wanted to close 2025 by talking about the year in dining in Los Angeles, a city that always inspires with new openings and truly singular legendary spots. On this episode, I am joined by Jenn Harris, a columnist and critic for the food section of the Los Angeles Times. The paper just released its annual 101 Best Restaurants in Los Angeles list, and we talk about many of the selections. Also on the show, I speak with Jordan Okun and Max Shapiro, the team behind the terrific podcast Air Jordan. Jordan and Max are always honest, and we have a great time discussing the year in restaurants in Los Angeles. And at the top of the show, Eliza and I share some of our memorable meals in Los Angeles this year. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hey, Eliza, how are you?
I'm good, Matt. How are you doing?
Well, I'm excited to have our own conversation about Los Angeles. How many times did you go this year? Did you count?
Oh, not enough is what my family would say. I'm always lucky to get to go back to LA, but I feel like I didn't make it back as often this year as I would like. And, when I do go back, I spend the most time eating at my parents' house, which is really nice. But I did have a couple great LA meals that I wanted to shout out.
Let's share. I went a few times myself, so we can share.
Well, I'll start with a new opening from this year, one that's on the West Side. It's called Cosetta. It's a really popular neighborhood, kind of Italian Californian restaurant. It's a pizzeria, but they also just have great, main plates, salads, etc. off Ocean Park Boulevard in Santa Monica. The chef is Zachary Pollack, who has this really deep knowledge of Italian food. He has spent a lot of time in Italy and certainly cooking at a lot of Italian restaurants in LA. He had a really popular pasta spot in Silver Lake called Alimento, and also an Echo Park pizza spot called Cosa Buona. They both closed in September or March 2024 after being open from anywhere from 8 to 11 years for each of those. And I think they closed kind of in anticipation of opening this new restaurant on the West Side. And I went there with my parents and my grandpa, and it was completely packed with people who are just really excited to be eating this well-executed pizza. We had really classic margarita, mushroom pizza, but also some more kind of like created unexpected things. Like they do a fried chicken cutlet, but it's doused in this really bright, spicy nook cham kind of style fish sauce dressing.
Yeah.
They do bagna cauda with farmers market vegetables from the very famous Santa Monica farmers market, but also like a blooming radicchio, which is like their take on a blooming onion.
Fun.
I really thought this was like the kind of delicious, classic Italian Californian food that I really can only get in LA. And I would think it's always fun when there's a good restaurant that opens on the West Side, because I think a lot of hyped openings are on the East Side these days.
Definitely.
So, Cosetta is my first restaurant.
And from the Alimento team?
Yes. Well, Alimento is no longer open.
Yeah, but I love that.
Yes, Alimento and Cosa Buona were the two other restaurants that Zachary Pollack was
very good
for.
spot. I loved my meal there a long time ago.
Yeah, and they don't do any pasta at Cosetta, which is funny because this restaurant was super famous for doing handmade pasta, but I think maybe he wanted to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Well, a meal that I just loved was my first time at Found Oyster, which has been open for a few years now. It's the restaurant from Ari Colander, and it's truly a special place for LA. They've got the smoked fish dips, they've got this sea urchin service. You've got the casual service at the counter. Your bartender is running food to you, and you've got a really tiny kitchen in the back. You've got the weekend vibe. You've got the weekday vibe. I just think that scallop tostada with yuzu kosho and apple that's been on the menu for a long time is a real winner. And I just thought the pieces really came together for me for a restaurant that I'd heard so much about. So that's my first one from LA.
Yeah, I love that. And I think in a similar vein of like eating at a restaurant you've heard a lot about, 2025 was the year that I finally got to eat at Holbox, which is, I think, one of the most beloved restaurants in LA. This is the stand inside of the Mercado La Paloma in South Central LA, where the chef Gilberto Cetina was cooking alongside his father at Chichen Itza, which is a restaurant nearby. And he's been doing this really seasonal focused seafood, Mexican seafood. The smoked Campeche taco is probably the best taco I had this year that I had there. And I think about it all the time. I love a smoked fish taco. I think it's such a beautiful format that I don't get to eat that much of here in New York. So that might be why I've been thinking about this taco from Holbox. But that's my second one.
Love that pick. And we had Gilberto on the podcast. Had a great chat with him in LA. And I can't wait to keep talking to him. He's a really, really, really cool guy who has a lot of deep feelings about cooking in LA and just such a spokesperson for LA cooking. So my next is I can't really kick the pickle plate at Kismet. I just loved it so much, and what I loved about it was delicious. And I honestly forget what it was like. Definitely like cauliflower and carrots and fennel. But what I loved about it really was it represents just the work being done at this restaurant, the labor, the attention to detail, just multiple types of fermentation on this plate, just being served there casually at the top of the menu. Not very expensive, but we just know how much work goes into it. And that's a big kind of representation of what's happening at Kismet. It's just a very, very cool restaurant that's been open for nearly a decade. It's from Sarah Kramer and Sarah Hymanson. And I love going there. I love their salads. I love their vibes. I looked on their website. They're not doing their standard menu now. They're doing a steakhouse menu, and that runs through February, which sounds extremely fun. But I just really enjoy Kismet.
I love that. My last restaurant I'm going to talk about in LA is the restaurant that I most wish probably I could be a regular at, which is Kuya Lord, which opened in 2024 and is just really exceptional Filipino food from Chef Lord Maynard Lara, who grew up eating Filipino food in Lucena City in the Philippines and has kind of brought this really fun format. It's maybe a 20-seat restaurant, and when I was dining there, it was completely full of one family having Sunday night dinner there, except for our one table, which I think speaks to just the kind of warmth and also the quality of food that they're putting out. And you can get these really delicious kuya trays that have really like fatty, ripply, delicious Lucena chon pork belly, blue prawns and crab sauce, really delicious garlic rice. I just left that meal grinning because everything was so tasty, which I think is a really nice way to feel.
Yeah. Well, honorable mentions for me, I had great meals at both Funky and Etra, kind of a little like kind of the opposite side of the spectrum in terms of the one's a very neighborhoody, quiet place, and Funky is in Beverly Hills and quite brash and exquisitely done pastas. I had some great pizza at Danny Boy's Famous Original. I'm always going to see my writing partner Daniel Holzman's restaurants in LA. And I think Bill Addison and I had a meal or two at places that I don't know if I can say, but LA is such a beautiful city. Do you have any honorable mentions, any meals that pop in your head?
I would say I keep on thinking about the coffee that I had at Maru Coffee.
Oh, Maru,
I know they just opened a location here in New York and I haven't been yet, but having that like cream top coffee, I kind of was a hater and then I tried it and actually it was so delicious. And I normally drink my coffee black, so this is kind of starting a new chapter for me. The vegan ice cream that I had at Awan, which I know you also enjoyed this year. Similarly, I feel like I was kind of skeptical of coconut-based plant-based ice cream. I found that it always kind of tasted like coconut, and I think their flavors actually do a lot to kind of get past that while also having it as a really nice base note of flavor. And then the places that don't have names, the taco stand with the red tent on Lincoln by Venice, La Isla Bonita, which is a seafood taco truck I'm going to since I was a kid. The
I love
pupusa
that place.
lady.
I've been there before.
Oh, it's great.
My friend, my West Side friends have taken me there.
That's a staple. Yeah,
Yeah.
the pupusa lady outside of the Brentwood Farmers Market. I don't know. LA, the food is everywhere. You know?
I go to Cassell's when I can. Down in K-Town. Haven't even mentioned Korean food. I mean, I think I went 3 times, and I just love going to LA. So I hope we can make it back next year.
Yeah, to a good 2026.
Yeah, thanks, Eliza. From February 20th to March 7th, dive into Canada's biggest culinary festival, Montreal en Lumière, an exclusive partnership with the McCord Stewart Museum and its exhibition, On the Menu, Montreal, a restaurant story. The 2026 festival invites food lovers on a flavorful journey through time. Montreal's top restaurateurs will reimagine 65 years of the city's iconic gastronomy, crafting inventive, nostalgia-inspired dishes with a modern twist. Prepare your palate. World-renowned chefs, including several Michelin-starred talents, will team up with over 80 of Montreal's finest local chefs to create unforgettable, one-of-a-kind menus. The full program is available at montrealenlumiere.com. Presented by Lotto Quebec in collaboration with National Bank. This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. If you're one of those last-minute shoppers, you might know the feeling. Ideas are running low and the clock is ticking. Here's a fun idea. Aura Frames. Aura Frames is a solution with a gift that feels personal, a little curated, and sent with love. And a gift that can be purchased in no time with a few clicks of the mouse. Aura Frames are great. They sent me one to check out, and it was really cool and dumb simple to set up. I loaded photos using the app, and it was displaying them instantly. There are no limits to the amount of photos you can load, and you can customize messages with each photo. And here's the deal. You can preload an Aura frame with photos and have it directly sent to that special person in your life, gift wrapped and all. There will be no price tag, and you can include a personalized message. Think about it. All those photos from this past summer's family reunion delivered in a digital frame. That is pretty cool. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code TASTE at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code TASTE. The deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Hi there, it's Matt, co-host of the show. We are currently running a This Is Taste listener survey, and we'd love to hear from you. Do you have a guest request? A restaurant you wish we'd visit to talk about on 3 things? What about a lesser-known cookbook author who deserves a spot in our studio chair? You can let us know by clicking the link in our show notes to complete the survey. It will only take a couple minutes, I swear, and will help us continue to make the best show possible. That's the This Is Taste listener survey, link in our show notes. Jenn Harris, welcome to This Is Taste. It's so great to have you on.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Well, I've never actually had a conversation with you on the mic, and Bill Addison, he's been on many times, so it's about time you're here.
Good. Yeah. I mean, I love hearing from Bill, but this is exciting.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Same. And really, we're here to talk about a lot of things, the year in Los Angeles dining, and it coincides perfectly with the release of your kind of epic list, the LA 101, which we've been following for years. I've been following it for decades, it feels like, back even to Jonathan Gold days. And I just have to say from the jump, it is such an impressive list, just doing the work. And I know I've been on meals with Bill and when I'm in LA, and I just know you guys put in so much work for this list.
We eat out a lot. Yes. We try to cover a lot of ground. We try not to miss anything. Different types of cuisine, geographic diversity. So yeah, it is definitely a labor of love and a lot of work.
So remind our listeners about your role at the LA Times. I know you're a co-author of this list, but you have many other roles. So just let us know.
Yeah. So right now, I've had many roles at the times. I've
Yeah.
been there for 15 years now, which is insane. So I started when I was 8, obviously.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah. So no, my official title now is a columnist slash critic. So I have a weekly food column that comes out every Monday morning, which is fun. It kind of is. I kind of have free reign to write about whatever I want, which is the coolest job ever. So that could be a really amazing fish sandwich, a new taco truck, a grocery store in Chinatown. It can be anything. So it's been really fun. And then I also do some videos for the Times. I contribute to a lot of our group lists. And then, of course, for the last 2 years, I had the privilege of co-writing our 101 Best with Bill.
So let's go there. What's the process like between you and Bill to work on this list? I imagine it's many months in the making, and just let our listeners know the work that goes into it.
Sure. So we start with, so basically like early summer, we start by having lunch together, and Bill brings a copy of the previous list and like a black marker and a red marker. And then we kind of go through and talk about each restaurant that was on the list last year. Have we had any recent meals at any of these places? Were they good or bad? How do we think it might fit into the greater dining landscape in Los Angeles this year? And so we do make some initial, we definitely want to keep this on, or this place, we need another meal there to see, but it's probably going to come off. So that's where the red marker comes in. So yeah, and it takes hours. And we go just for that initial kind of meeting to evaluate. And then we do go back to every single restaurant that's on the list. So just because it was on one year does not mean it's automatically going to make it the next year. And just because it was high doesn't mean, or low, things fluctuate as you can see. So that's the initial meeting. And then we just go nuts. And then we just go eating like crazy. But we also have a conversation about newer places that obviously weren't on the list last year that we're excited about and why, and encourage each other to go. And then we have these like nerve-wracking text messages where it's like, I'll tell him to go somewhere. And then if I don't hear from him immediately, like that night or the next morning, I'm like, oh my God, did he not like it? Like what happened? And then like vice versa. So it's just, it's funny. It's
Oh my
funny
gosh,
chaos.
I've had that with Bill. I've sent him up to a place and didn't hear back, and I was like, oh yeah, I get it. I know the feeling. It's interesting. Well, so let's talk about the red marker for a second. It's important to note. This is an evolving list, and you go to all the places every year. What gets a place, slashed with the red?
Obviously if you closed, or if you've announced that you're going to close soon.
That's an easy one. Those are the ones those are the gimmies. Yeah.
That's an easy one. If both Bill and I recently had poor meals there, and even then it's like, we're like, how recent was that? Was it last week or was it a month ago? Because if it was a month ago, then we need to go back. But there are some places where, we both recently ate somewhere and it just fell short of where it needed to be. So that will get a red. And I was like, this is so brutal. I was calling it like the red wedding because it was awful and it makes me feel so bad. Yes.
Well, I appreciate that you feel bad. I also appreciate that you take this very seriously, and it is your job to recognize when a restaurant isn't up to its level, and this is an important list. So I think that I appreciate you doing that. I also appreciate that you rank this list, because I think there are other national lists that are alphabetical that don't really go there, but you're going there. I mean, to be clear, this is a numerical list, 1 through 101.
Yeah, it's rough. I feel like the way we do it is we kind of break it up into brackets. So we each independently will be like, all right, we think this should be in like 30s to 40s, or this feels like it should be in the 70s to 80s. And so we each do that separately. And then we come together and have these like marathon sessions where we go through and try to decide where things are actually going to end up. And that's a lot of back and forth. And then we do that without referencing last year's list, so that it feels like this is where I thought, this is organically where I felt this should land this year. So like if some, people analyze lists like, well, this dropped 30 or this went up 65. And I'm like, oh, interesting. It wasn't like intentional in that we were looking. So this was 7 this year. Where is it going to be this year? And then we go through the top 15 and do that independently as well, including number 1. And then we kind of like, we got on a Zoom together for not in person. And then we just kind of like drop it in the chat at the same time, our own individual rankings, and then see, and they are eerily similar. The last 2 years we did this together. So, and that's how we go through the chaos
really
of ranking.
Fascinating approach. And really, it makes sense that you're not going to look back at the previous year. You want this to be this year's ranking. And if something drops, it's because maybe something happened there. Or, but really, I'll be clear and continue as well. Like if you're on the 101, you're doing something right?
You're doing a lot of things right. Yes. I think I know a lot of places are obsessed with rankings, but a lot of places are just really excited to be included. But yeah, if you are 1 or 101, you are amazing.
Okay. I'm one of those people for sure. And before we get to talking about the specific restaurants, I just want to get your take on the year in Los Angeles dining. We've covered it well here on the show. I was able to visit 4 times this year, and the previous year I was there 5 times. So I go to LA a lot, and I feel very comfortable talking about it, though of course I am an absolute outsider. I am not doing the work like yourself. We know that the year started out very challenging, in a challenging space with the wildfires and so much going on in that world. But describe the year in dining.
Well, first of all, if you're coming out here 4 to 5 times, I'm going to expect to take you out to lunch next time.
I would love that.
So you let me know. Wow, what a dumpster fire of a year as a whole. Yes, we started with the fires. And even before that, some businesses never really recovered fully from the Hollywood writers' strikes. We were hit especially hard by the ICE raids, the curfews that followed. The raids are continuing. It just felt like the city was in survival mode for much of the year, which is hard. I mean, in spite of that, there was like a slew of big, well-known New York restaurants that opened here. There was like Alba, Maria, but like a lot of smaller LA places kind of, I guess, like hunkered down and kind of stuck to what they know works. A lot of familiar, affordable foods, lots of comfort foods. We were seeing a lot of like pizzerias open, places that weren't doing burgers, starting to put burgers on the menu, fried chicken. But I don't know. I feel like, but then on the flip side, because we're Los Angeles, there were a lot of restaurateurs and chefs who kind of looked at this as a catalyst for kind of finding a new avenue for creativity, kind of going against corporate blandness. There were, like, I don't know, I was left feeling especially hopeful after eating through the city for this list, because there were so many great new openings, like bright spots, like Miles Thompson's Baby Bistro is one of them. Such a wild and weird and wonderful restaurant, and unlike anything else, in this city or I don't know anywhere else right now. Or there's places like Sora Craft Kitchen, which is this Turkish restaurant in the middle of the fashion district in downtown that doesn't get a lot of foot traffic, and it's a one-man show. And the star dish is like this big, like spiced beef dumpling with this like Aleppo pepper butter that is so wonderful. But yeah, I don't know. I think Bill actually, I feel like, put it best when we were kind of talking through what we were seeing and what was happening with the rankings. And he basically was like, cooking became kind of this act of resistance for restaurants and chefs that kind of helped the city and diners feel more hopeful about the state of Los Angeles and the world, really. I
mean, restaurants are a pure escapism for people and places of celebration, places to really unwind. And you do such a nice job of highlighting restaurants in many different neighborhoods where people can detach from this external tumult that LA has really had, and you laid it out nicely. Let's start with number 1, and I love the choice personally. I think it's really smart. Mercado La Paloma. This is a space, not a specific restaurant. It's home to many restaurants, and Gilberto Cetino's Holbox is there, as well as Chichen Itzam and Comal, among other restaurants. Why was it important to highlight this Mercado as your number 1 restaurant or space in Los Angeles?
think because this year felt so different, in so many ways. Just everything we just mentioned. But I don't know. LA is kind of a different city than it was even last year. And I feel like the Mercado as a whole represents this like sense of community, and it represents the true diversity of Los Angeles. It's reflective of how Angelenos actually eat. There's a range of cuisines that kind of show the breadth of Latino foodways here. I don't know. It's accessible in a way that a lot of other places aren't, and a lot of other places on this list aren't. And it just felt especially important now, considering the political climate that we are in. But I don't know. And also, I mean, the organization behind the Mercado, Villa Esperanza, it's a nonprofit. They promote equity in the restaurant space. That is just something to celebrate. They keep the barrier to entry low, giving chefs, entrepreneurs a chance to actually open a restaurant, open a business. It gives them the space to grow into something wonderful. Holbox is like amazing, but it has grown into the restaurant it is today, and the same with Kamal, because it was given the chance to do that. It was given the financial freedom to do that by being at this Mercado. And that's the thing. It is Holbox. It's Chichen Itza, the Cochinita Pibil there. It's the other restaurants there that are there. It's Taqueria Vista Hermosa, Thai Corner Food Express. The barbacoa at Oaxaca, California is amazing. It's all. So even if we were just to talk about the food, outstanding. All of these places are outstanding on their own, but as a whole, it felt right. It felt like this is what we should do this year.
I mean, I've done Holbox and then had that barbacoa as like a number 2 meal in the space, and that was years ago, and I haven't been back in a couple of years. And I just think it's really cool that you can not just say this is Holbox at number 1. This is actually this whole place, and really all the restaurants there add up to a wonderful dining experience. So,
hey, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just going to read off 2 through 10. And really, just for our listeners, and I'm linking to it in the show notes. You should definitely subscribe to the LA Times and read not just the list, but the work you and Bill do. I think it's such a terrific section. Every week, I read it every week, and I love it. I love the work you do there, and terrific writers. But starting at number 2, you've got Cato, Baru, Dunsmore, Hayato, Providence, Morihiro, Antico Nuevo, Restaurant Key, and Anna Jack. Rounding it out at number 10. I mean, such a cool, diverse mix of restaurants and neighborhoods and cuisines. It feels like, you're not over-indexing anywhere. I mean, it's such a hard choice to put 10 restaurants at the top of the list. Give us a little color from this top 10.
Okay, a little color. I don't know. I mean, number 2 being Cato was our number 1 the previous
last couple years, right?
Yeah, and it is still the most exceptional fine dining restaurant in LA, like without a question on every level. John Yao, the chef there, is, doing his interpretation of the Taiwanese food he grew up with in the San Gabriel Valley, kind of orienting it with California ingredients and presenting it in ways where, I also grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, but he definitely challenges and celebrates the original forms of some of these dishes that he's riffing on, and it's really fun to see. The wine list there, Ryan Bailey, who's the co-owner and does the wine, there's like more than 3,000 bottles, which is insane. This is just like such a gem of a restaurant. Baru, should I just go through?
Yeah, you can pick a few. We don't need to go through everyone.
Okay.
And we've had several of these chefs on the show, and
yes, you have.
Love LA, and though we haven't had Brian Dunsmore on yet. So
but let's
soon,
talk about Dunsmore.
Soon enough. But tell me about what's going on with Baru and Dunsmore.
Sure. Okay, Baru. So Kwong and Mina Park, they're the 2 owners of this restaurant. It is a tasting menu that is kind of heavily rooted in Korean flavors and traditions. I think it's the best vegetarian dining in town. So they have their regular tasting menu, and then you can do a vegetarian one with a little advance notice. And it's like part of the meal is, my favorite part of the meal is you're presented with like a set of Baru bowls, which is basically what
they started as.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Buddhist monks eat their meals out of. So it's this course where it's like rice, vegetables, And all the vegetables are kind of at various stages of fermentation and freshness, which is something that Chef Kwong plays with a lot. And there's this crystal clear radish leaf soup, and it's just like such a joy to eat, and you feel good eating it. And I don't know, he's such a cerebral, intense kind of guy, but I always find his presentation, fun and playful and thoughtful. And it's just one of the most special places in Los Angeles right now. And then you have Dunsmore, which is in Glassell Park. And Brian is like, he's from the South. So he's kind of celebrating his Southern upbringing through a California lens. So the food, it's funny because like anytime I talk to anyone who goes there or any chefs, actually, I'm like, what's your favorite restaurant? Dunsmore.
Oh, it's the industry favorite. Yeah.
Yes. But it's like, like I remember like, what did I have there? Like late summer, it was like smoked duck ham with like seasonal melon or oh God, the incredibly decadent chili cheddar cornbread that's based on a Edna Lewis recipe. And it's cooked in the hearth, which is at the back of the room where most things are cooked there. And it's just like so much butter and it's so delicious and decadent. The wine program, Sam Graves is the wine director there. He always just like emerges somewhere out of the corner with like a bottle of exactly what you want to be drinking that you didn't know you wanted it. And it's just,
nice.
It's like a flawless restaurant.
Yeah. And then Anna Jack, at number 10, I just think the remodel and the kind of concepting of the place is interesting that it made number 10.
Yeah. I think Justin is like so wonderful and the food is so wonderful. And I just love that he took his like parents' decades old Thai restaurant and kind of like catapulted it onto this like national stage with these like Thai Taco Tuesdays that he started doing out of the like side alley of the restaurant. And it was like lap chung on a tostada and like fish tacos with chili crisp and just like really wonderful, like in your face, punchy flavors. And I don't know, I think he manages to like harness his like intense creative streak while preserving, what made his family restaurant stick around for decades. And the remodel is fantastic. It is like it's consistently buzzing. So yeah, it's more exciting to eat there than ever.
Yeah. I can't skip Providence. It gets a third Michelin star for the first time, which is big news. It's been a restaurant that's been open for, decades, right? And it finally gets the star. I mean, it brings up the topic of Michelin, which I think, has a California list and has representation throughout Los Angeles. Do you consider Michelin when you're making your list, or are you like fully separate?
No.
You said that very fast. I love it.
Bill and I do not. No, we don't have the same, I guess, rubric for evaluating things, which, they're great for what they do, but we are totally separate, totally different. But Providence, I mean, they're celebrating 20 years this year, and it is a restaurant that helped establish, a fine dining scene in LA. They put us on the map in terms of like national recognition for fine dining. And yeah, even it was like they finally got their 3 stars, which is so well deserved. They were recognized by the world's 50 best as well. But but when you have dinner there, it's like they are still pushing themselves. It's still super creative and fun. And like the hospitality there is consistently on another level. So they're not like, oh, we got all the awards, we're just kind of like sitting back now. We're just like, what can we do next? Which is exciting.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple like follow-up questions about specific restaurants on the list. And, we could be talking all day. We could go through every restaurant, but we don't have time for that. But I wanted to talk about Celine. It's Dave Baran's, slightly experimental West Side restaurant. And it gets, it lands high on your list. What drove you to make that call?
Are you saying you thought it was too high, or you're just wondering?
Listen, I have not been there. So I have no skin in this game. Again, I'm a mere outsider. But I think, just knowing that style of cooking and knowing you clearly are valuing it, you're putting it high on the list.
Yeah. Did you ever go to Dialogue?
Yes, I did go to Dialogue, and I went to Red Medicine too. I know it's a different chef, but I feel like it's in that plays in that sandbox a bit. A
little bit.
Yeah.
Like adjacent.
Adjacent.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny because Celine is the restaurant it opened as is very different from what it is now. Now it's kind of this place that immerses you in a moment in time during a current season. So I went during the autumn season, and it's just okay. So like for instance, like it was like you're invited into the kitchen and you're like, all right, the chef gives you this like wild mustard and green that they kind of like dip in this fresh passion fruit juice and then they flash freeze it and then kind of hand it to you. And it's like, there's this like sheen of juice on top that kind of mimics like, I don't know, like a leaf, like ice cracking on a leaf, like in the floor. It was just like, you kind of just get sucked into this world of every single course is kind of going to be like, this is autumn. This is the freshness of autumn. This is like the hominess of autumn. But it's not just that though. It's kind of a menu that ends up being, I guess, pretty personal for Dave. And there's definitely a through line, but like, there's one course where it's like the whole thing is meant to be an homage to his grandmother and like the last bites of her like pot roast. And then there's like this like, and it's just like those prized sticky bits at the bottom of the pot. And like, that's what you're served. And so it's like very homey and nostalgic and it feels good. And then I don't know, it's kind of like experiencing an entire season through one person's eyes. And it, I don't know, kind of bring you along on like a story of like what autumn is. And it's just, but that's the thing. It's not just that though. It's like the food itself. It wasn't just conceptual. The food itself was delicious. And there were things that I wanted to like immediately eat again and that I was like thinking about afterwards. So
You're exciting me here. I mean, I love you're very articulate, and I appreciate you really thought through this choice. And I'm just throwing these out there. I for the sake of this conversation, I just want to get as many restaurants to mention as possible, and I'll continue. You know, Perilla is at 18 and Funky is at 19. Mm-hmm. Two completely different restaurants. I like both of them tremendously. I think they're both very good restaurants, but they're so different. And it just makes me think like elevating Perilla over Funky is a choice. It is a statement in some ways.
Yeah, I think it's a choice. It's also just like so emblematic of like the beauty of Los Angeles, like the enigma that is Los Angeles dining, where it's like, you know, one plate Perilla, it's like where banchan kind of takes on main course energy, and there's seasonal vegetables at various stages of fermentation, and like banchan is the meal, which is not something which you know a lot about Korean dining, which is not something that you usually see.
No, it's not at all. It's very very progressive, and it's also kind of like tucked in. Like, is that Echo Park? I don't even know what neighborhood that is. It's
like North. It's like North Chinatown.
Yeah, North Chinatown. Yeah,
and it's in this like really fun space. It's basically like two tables outside too. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of takeout. I mean, I would eat this 3 times a week if I could. So it's like, how do you value that, you know, alongside Funky, which is Evan Funky's like grand, swanky, amazing Italian restaurant, where in a city where there's a ton of Italian food, but little is specific to like a certain style or region, here you can find pastas from not only a specific city, but it's like a shape that you might not find outside of this restaurant or that town in Italy. You know, you have Shannon Swindle's pastries, which are incredible. The service is great. So it's like, there's different specific experiences and they're both outstanding in their own ways, but like, and one is more accessible, obviously. And we do take that into account, affordability, accessibility when we're ranking. So, I mean, yeah, it's a hard one, but I feel like it was the right choice.
I think it's very cool to see them next to each other, and really is indicative of why LA really is America's most exciting restaurant city by many accounts, and really the Funky in Beverly Hills is not for everyone. Not every diner will be able to go there and experience that. So I appreciate you tapping into accessibility. I want to move on to Baby Bistro, which for an outside observer, somebody who's maybe sitting in an office in New York and reading the paper of record and other things, it feels like it's like the most important restaurant in Los Angeles of the past like maybe 60 years.
60 years.
No, I'm
wow.
This is hyperbole at the highest. The buzz around Baby Bistro was tremendous, and of course Tejal wrote a really big piece and great piece about it. I've not been, but it's like the buzz was crazy this year for that restaurant.
The buzz was great. So do you think when you say the most important restaurant, like what do you mean by important?
I'm being so sarcastic there,
okay.
and I'm hoping the pod format is going to help me here. It certainly isn't, of course. I just thought that it's just like the restaurant for like Q3, Q4 was the one that everyone was talking about and sucking the oxygen out of the room a little bit. And Miles is somebody who's tremendous chef and like has great pedigree.
Yeah.
And I have not been there. I can't like give my own take on the meal, but for me, polarizing restaurant. Not everybody I know loved it, but many did. But you have your take on Baby Bistro.
Yeah, I think that Miles, first of all, I've been following his career for so many years in LA. He's great. I appreciate how experimental he can be. He has a singular style, a voice, a vision, and that comes through in all of the just six items on the menu.
Yeah.
So it's like this wonderfully concise restaurant. And I don't know, it's just you never know what you're going to get there, and I love that.
Yeah.
I think exciting to me.
Yeah, it's exciting, and really a tight menu like that, you got to order the menu essentially, and really, it speaks to me just theoretically, and I'm hoping to get there soon, and I'll report back my take.
Okay.
So I want to dig a little deeper in the list and just a couple spots that popped out, and I'm just curious. There's Dark Room out in Santa Ana. There is Tomat, which I went to with Bill, and it's like this very cool restaurant, like 5 minutes from LAX, which I think is really cool to see that on the list. And thirdly, Sincerely Syria in Sherman Oaks, and that's been a place for my friends out there. I know they're fans of it, but I've not been able to make it. But it sounds like a great place.
Yeah, Sincerely Syria, I probably eat this like at least once a week.
Wow.
I am addicted to that beef and lamb shawarma. The owner's from like southwestern Syria, and he learned how to make it there. And it's just like, there's just these like warm spices and garlic, and it's tucked into this pita, or what I like is this like ultra thin tortilla-like bread. I asked for tahini and toom, so it's probably, I guess, not the correct way, but I like it.
Oh, I mean, that's my way. I'm sure there is a
I-
correct way, but whatever. I love that combination.
It's,
Come on.
it's so good.
Yeah.
And no, Dark Room is like my antidote to like every restaurant that starts to feel the same with like the same aesthetic or the same menu. Like, it is so wonderfully weird. As advertised, it is very dark in there, and I am consistently surprised and delighted by the food. The chefs there are Zach Scherer and Drew Adams, and they kind of operate it like an experimental garage band. It's very fun. The menu's always changing. They take big swings.
Wow.
I'm always excited to see what they do next. So, and they were doing like these tasting menu dinners also, so you could do that on the weekends, and then you could just go in during the week for, I don't know. It's a really fun, wacky restaurant. It's in this strip mall. Actually, it's not even a strip mall. It's like an industrial complex in Santa Ana, which is this city in Orange County. Fun restaurant.
How do you think about Orange County and balancing it with your list with the LA 101?
There's just, obviously there's so much in LA.
Yeah.
And Orange County could and should have its own list, So when we're looking at places like Orange County as a whole or Westminster, we're just trying to select things that are something that you cannot duplicate or that no one else is doing in Los Angeles already. So that's kind of how we
it's an impossible task because you want to represent Orange County and places outside of LA County because you have readers out there, obviously. But if you did on only Orange County list, it wouldn't be as exciting. It wouldn't be like the definitive list. I recognize that. Okay, so let's talk about Somni. I've not been. 3 Michelin star, gets it like very soon after opening. Very, very big news, at least on the national point of view for LA dining. Doesn't make it that high on your list. But I wanted to bring it up because it is, Michelin 3-star. It's like recognized as one of the top restaurants in the entire state. Tell me your take on it.
I think that Somni, this is a perfect example of how we evaluate things separately from like Michelin. Somni is an experience where I think the staff, impeccable staff, really value showmanship. They do this thing where they stand in front of each diner and they kind of drop the plates at the same time. Every element is kind of finished in front of you, whether it's with a sauce or some sort of garnish. Nothing is really what it seems. So I feel like if you enjoy and appreciate that style of dining and you have the money to afford it, like Somni totally delivers. It is totally worth it. Where it fits in LA, it's kind of this restaurant that like, where you don't get it kind of lacks a sense of place, if that makes sense. Like, and this is in no way a criticism, just something we were considering, that we always consider when we're, ranking the list. Like, is this a restaurant that could exist anywhere in the world? Or is it a place that feels like it is distinctly of Los Angeles? And, you could pick up Somni and it could live and thrive in any major city in the world. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be LA. So whereas other restaurants that maybe ranked higher maybe feel more representative of LA dining as a whole. So I think that's something we considered when ranking it. But I mean, Somni is excellent. It's such a cool restaurant.
It makes perfect sense, Jen, and thank you for articulating it, because I think you want this list to really represent Los Angeles and have a little bit more of an accessibility impulse than like traditional fine dining that can be templated over and over. And I would imagine the LA Times readers more are going to be possibly into Perilla and Tomat than the Somni. That's like, is that your instinct when thinking about the readership and your who you're serving with this list?
Yeah, I do think maybe majority, just because, 99% of the population in LA will never get to eat at Somni. So we definitely take that into account.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, it's cool to see it on the list. All right. Well, I want to talk about snubs, because we have to go there. Again,
Okay.
I'm not an LA guy. I do go there with some frequency. For me, I'm just going to throw out my snubs. These are places that I've been to and have interest in that did not appear on the list. You can respond however you want. All right. I enjoyed Muse tremendously. I thought it was great.
Good.
It felt like a good one. Horses, I think with the background noise around it, it's still a very good restaurant by all accounts. Rasaruma, I thought that high praise in New York Times. Michael's always getting the snub in New York and LA by critics, like consistently, which I think is a travesty. Michael McCarty is a legend, and I really have enjoyed my meals on both coasts. A couple more. Ektra, great meal there. Rouen Pear, I go there all the time. Call me basic. Call me not on top of what's
it's great.
high. And the
Not
last
basic.
one, and I'll let you respond, is Young Mani. I haven't been to the new space, so maybe it's not as good right now in the new space. But I gotta say, for offal and Korean style grilling, Young Mani is dope. Those are my snubs, just for the record. But again, I'm not an LA guy.
No, you eat here enough. Also, I don't know whether you come here once a year or once a decade. If you eat somewhere and you really liked it, that's good. And that's the thing. I'm so glad that you like these restaurants. I think that's, and anything that someone likes that's not on the list could be, characterized as a snub. So, I mean, I'm thrilled that you enjoyed these restaurants. We did eat at all of these.
Figure you
did.
Yeah.
So I think that we just. I'm not going to go into specifics about these because I think they're great, but we probably didn't have the experience you had there, if that makes sense. Like
Okay.
we didn't have the most amazing meals at all of these restaurants. So,
You said enough, Jen. I'm not
Okay.
I really just, it was like an impossible question to.
But I love that you love these places. Though. I
don't love all of them. I just thought for 101, and again,
Yeah.
I do not dine out in LA and live there, but they're all places that I would go back to, and I will go back to. Now, last couple questions. I mean, where are you at with the Redzepi of it all? Bringing his show to LA.
Ooh, I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah,
They've been talking about it for a long time, and it's been very exciting. So yeah, I wish there was like a more solid time frame for me to get extra excited about. But yeah, I don't know how it's gonna. I don't know. It's such a big name, and Noma's so big that people are obviously excited and curious. But LA is so weird in that I feel like Angelinos have this attitude where like, we don't care what you did before. What are you going to do here?
Yeah.
it's like the place where successful people from other areas of the world come. And then it's just like, wait, what happened? So yeah, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Renee. I'm very excited about this, but LA is fickle and tricky and weird. So I'm very curious to see how it plays out.
I mean, I bet it will be, as Noma always, it will be an experience for those who are lucky enough to get tickets. And I know he's been in town and posting some amazing shit on social, just his sourcing. And it's been famously very hard for outsiders to thrive in LA. So I'm glad you recognize that. But also look at them with open mind too.
Yes. Yes.
And last question, excited for 2026. Are there any restaurants on the horizon that you are particularly going to be looking at closely?
Yeah, there's some that just were too new to seriously be considered for this year. Like there's the Mulberry, which is a Korean restaurant that recently opened on Sawtelle. That looks really fun. I'm going to go in a week or so. Everything at Made on Market. that looks really fun. The restaurant itself, and then also like the bigger food hall that she opened there. I don't know. The return of Ray Garcia is very exciting to me. He's kind of one of our biggest champions of Alta California cuisine, and he just opened Broken Spanish Corridor, and I'm very excited for that. But there's so many, Sean Brock's Darling, like there's so many places where I'm excited to see how they evolve.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up Sean's restaurant. I can't wait to check it out myself. And it's such an impressive list. Again, Jen, major props to you and Bill for truly doing the work. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining This Is Taste.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Today's episode is brought to you by ButcherBox. As a food writer, I can be a little skeptical about subscription cooking boxes you hear about on podcasts. There's big talk about cooking simplicity, but you're usually left with disappointment after smashing that promo code. Now, Clayton, have you ever tried one of those subscription boxes?
Yeah, Matt, my friend gave me a code for that one that has all the chopped vegetables in little baggies. I felt like a drug dealer trying to cook dinner.
Yeah, man, I have so been there. ButcherBox is a true exception. I was sent a box of premium beef and pork and was blown away by the quality and variety. There was 100% grass-fed pasture-aged ribeye, tri-tip, and ground sirloin for my favorite at-home smash burger recipe. George Moats, you better watch your back. For pork, they sent me a beautiful center-cut pork loin for slow roasting. I was super impressed, and I haven't even talked about the ribs, which I cooked in my Instant Pot. There was a rub of salt, white pepper, and togarashi, and I pressure cooked with water and apple cider vinegar. It was incredible. These ButcherBox ribs are amazing. For nearly a decade, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free. As an exclusive offer, our listeners can get free protein in every box for a year, plus $20 off your first box when you go to butcherbox.com/taste. Visit butcherbox.com/taste to get this limited time offer and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/taste. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay. A holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
Jordan Okun and Max Shapiro, welcome to This Is Taste. It's so great to have you on.
Thank you, Matthew.
Matt.
You guys. I mean, listen, I don't listen to food podcasts, but I listen to yours. And it just really keeps me in the loop for all things LA and really just what is happening in the scene of food in restaurants and the restaurant culture. I really like the show, and you have some nice you have some enhancements you're making for next year. We will talk a little bit about that. But first, each of you, I'll start with you, Jordan. Has it been a good year for Los Angeles dining?
I mean, it was good, it was bad, and it was ugly, Matt. But it was kind of that in reverse. I mean, starting with the fires and the ice raids, very ugly. And then bad vibes from them and the closures that were coming, specifically one of our favorite spots, Stella West Hollywood. But then, some good started coming our way as like the city was rebuilding. But, our first 3 Michelin star restaurants, and we're kind of in this late year surge of a handful of small and focused and really well-intentioned restaurant openings that I think, at least for me, have me as excited as I've been about the restaurant scene here for quite some time.
Max, what do you think about the year? I mean, do you feel? I mean, that Stella closure was big news. Do you agree with Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to mimic Jordan a little bit and say it was both a good year and a tough year for LA dining. It has never been more expensive to eat out. It has never been more expensive to run a restaurant. Most people aren't making more money to keep up. So there's a real friction across the whole ecosystem. We also didn't get the volume of big defining openings we've seen in past years, but the staples, the places that have really carried the city, continued to deliver, and the new restaurants that did open have showed promise. So no, it wasn't a banner year, but it wasn't a lost year either. It felt like a transition year, a reset, and I'm optimistic about where things go next. The restaurants that have opened at the end of the year and the 2026 slate look strong, and LA always reinvents itself. So I'm optimistic for the upcoming year.
Yeah, I really appreciate LA for doing that. And let's stick with you, Max, and we'll get to you, Jordan, after. A couple memorable openings from the year. We're focusing on new restaurants, and maybe like one opening that maybe landed with a bit of a thud.
Um, Obviously, Somni, th- 3 Michelin stars out of the gate. I mean, few places have ever gotten 3 stars that fast in the world, and we got one here in LA. You know, it's funny. Somni got it in months, and it took Providence 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Key, the Korean fine dining restaurant, I call it the Kaniyoshi Plex, where you have Sushi Kaniyoshi, Bar Sawa, etc. That surprised me because his previous restaurant I did not like. And he has matured and gotten better in a way where I ate that meal and I said, damn, this is really good. And this guy has an identity.
Mm-hmm.
I also really loved Corridor 109 recently.
Well, it's a new one. That's wow.
Yeah, a brand new one.
Damn.
A Japanese leaning, like 11 course, counter only tasting menu, confident, polished, a singular point of view where it's all about the product. And I have a couple more if you want to hear it, but or if you want to move on, that's fine.
Well, let's do one maybe that didn't land so well, and then I'll get to you, Jordan, for some of your new ones.
Well, the one that didn't land so well was Darling in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be getting into that later.
Okay. All right. Jordan, what about you? A couple openings from the year that excited you?
Well, I think Max named every tasting menu in Los Angeles that was new, so I'll go the other
That's
way.
An energy for sure.
Getting back to this surge and kind of this late year wonderful cascade of smaller, kind of almost like new age mom and pops opening. We recently had really solid and promising meals at Wilds, at Little Fish. So really looking forward to getting back to both of those. You know, Max and Helen's is memorable for all sorts of reasons, good and bad. But you know, all the hype on that waffle is real.
Wow.
And wait times are very real.
Yeah, like maybe 6 hours perhaps is a number I've seen floated online.
Yeah, their opening weekend was something ridiculous, like 8-hour wait lists. It's probably down to half of that. And I think they just opened their patio, which should relieve some of that. But, you know, it's a perfect storm for a wildly busy restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, chainsaw pies are finally readily available, and that's a lovely thing. And, you know, it's super hyped, but Comal's Suadero tacos and tortillas dipped in mole are probably worth the hype. And, you know, River, it's always a good thing when Travis Lett is back inside a restaurant every day. So I think those are
great call.
Those are my favorites.
On Comal, I mean, by all means, one of the most important restaurants in LA right now. Let's go back to Somni and Max. Like, what is your read? Like, virtually ignored by the national media, like Food and Wine, BA, New York Times. It's really interesting. You're very high on this restaurant, but it seems like a lot of people are kind of ignoring it.
The only thing that I can think this is about is price.
Mm.
Because he's doing everything he did before at the previous Somni, but better. The only difference is it's in a standalone building, which is nicer, and it's much more expensive. I don't get any other differences though.
Yeah, yeah. Jordan, what yourself? What do you feel about this restaurant? And like maybe one of LA's greats. I mean, 3 Michelin is
Well,
serious.
we tend to not take any organization serious other than Michelin,
Yeah.
and Michelin got it right. So everyone else who's not getting it right, doesn't really mean much to us.
Fair enough. Stick with you, Jordan. You guys like put your body on the line multiple times a week by going out and reporting. I love it. What excites you about getting in that car and driving for 45 minutes to an hour to go out to dinner in LA?
I mean, look, we talked about it on the pod. Dining in LA is all about what we call the schlep. And, this is not New York. We aren't always in walking distance of greatness or just a solid neighborhood restaurant. Yeah. You want a great restaurant in Los Angeles, you are schlepping almost always. So we don't think twice about the schlep, but if a restaurant is worth the schlep, then that excites us. So we're desperate to find the next schlep-worthy spot. For us, Wilds was a schlep and worth it. To find the next Dunsmore, to find the next Bavel, to find the next Girong, to find the next Marisco Salisco, being worth the schlep, that keeps it exciting in LA.
Yeah. How about you, Max?
I mean, an hour-long drive does not excite me. It's not like I'm driving 40 miles. I'm sitting in LA traffic wishing for teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
But I do it because I genuinely love dining out. I love discovering something great and supporting people doing good work. So that makes the gridlock worth it for me.
Yeah. So I spent some quality time in LA over the past year. I've had memorable meals at Etra, Kismet, Muse, Found Oyster, Safi's, Yang's Kitchen. None of those were necessarily new. I mean, Muse, I guess, would be kind of new. But I just want to get your takes on like just generally some favorite meals, not on the necessarily on the new side.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, this could be a very long list. But I found myself loving meals at Shunji, who's constantly disrespected by food media and Michelin. I've had a couple great meals at Providence, Key, Corridor 109, a million meals at River, Ceviche Project, which has been around since 2019 or something. It's been around for a while and it's slept on, but a great restaurant. Dunsmore, Cato, Budinoki, Somni, Muse, Alto, and Studio City is impressing me with their potential and their intention. Sushi Kaniyoshi, the list goes on and on. And like Jordan said, we've had really good meals at Little Fish and Wilds.
Yeah.
A lot of good meals have been had.
I like when you dive into an experience like the Alto episode when you talked about the the whole fish that you ordered in advance, and just like this restaurant's in the I mean, it's in Studio City. It's like not in the hotbed of dining in LA, but it sounds really cool.
Say that.
It sounds really cool though. Tell us a little bit about this place.
Yeah, so Esteban and Juana, they come from a major 3 Michelin star, world's 50 best fine dining background. He's from Argentina, she's from Uruguay, and they want to inject that culture into the food, but they also bring in the Basque culture because they worked in Basque country for so long. So they have, they turned, instead of using a beef chuleta, they did a Pieds and Barnett's pork chuleta that's dry aged in kombu, then cold smoked, then grilled over the fire. There's a lot of fire cooking, some Basque influence. They copied the Casa Julian peppers that are cooked in beef fat in the oven for 5 hours in the charcoal oven for 5 hours. There's great potential at this restaurant. They're such sweet individuals. And I just hope that Studio City can get behind them and have them remain successful.
Yeah. Or people who are traveling to LA this winter go out to Studio City to Alta. Jordan, how about yourself? Restaurants, meals, it could be established places, could be your local, like that really excited you this year?
I mean, we keep returning to Dunsmore.
Yeah.
A solid 45 to 60 on the schlep meter and worth it. That's a rare thing. We're eating at Muse again this weekend.
Oh, cool.
It's been a while. It's a level of style and dining like you don't want to overdo, but there is no one like Fardad in LA. As you know, Matt, I heard that episode.
It was great.
And I look forward to seeing him again and experiencing that whole vibe. I'm a sushi peasant, but I think back to the New Look Nozawa bar meal that we had earlier, and I crave it. I'm always in the mood for lamb neck at Bavel. I'm always in the mood for Mia Mia's chicken shawarma wrap. They desperately need to open their shop. I'm just very pleased with this chicken shawarma wrap movement that's happening.
I love it. I mean, the shawarma can be expressed in many ways, and it's like that comes down to the actual wrap itself. Like, is it like a naturally leavened wrap? Is it thick? Is it thin? Hand rolled. I feel that's a really interesting food.
Yeah, and this one is impossibly thin, totally authentic from Jordan, and it's just kind of a textural, savory explosion that it's driving people crazy here. I mean, they're only open 2 days a week. Mia lines are hours long.
Damn.
Always selling out.
We just had Jess Costello on this week, and she's opening dinner at Squirrel. Thoughts on this evolution?
It's been a long time coming. I think I've heard about her opening Squirrel Dinner for years.
Yeah.
But I think before that may have been a failed concept, but now with Budenoki doing so well and other places in the area doing so well, maybe dinner is a hit. Who knows?
Yeah, Virgil Village has got some spots for sure, and it falls into a really unique little pocket of LA.
Jessica has a commitment to being on the line that a lot of chefs in her position and her years of doing it don't do. And so I think it's promising. But yeah, I mean, LA's been hearing about Squirrel Dinner forever, and I think she has successfully and put in the work to earn her spot to get through the controversy. And I'm down. Let's go.
I love that observation, Jordan. It's really smart. It's why I like your show, because I think people don't realize that she does work every Sunday and she doesn't have to. I mean, with a restaurant that successful and with that consistent of a crowd, you don't have to do it. But that's why I think we all appreciate her work.
The McDonald's Snack Wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch Snack Wrap. Spicy Snack Wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack Wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size or budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit IKEA.us/dreamkitchen to learn more. Dream the possibilities.
Max, one overrated, one underrated LA restaurant right now, and then I'll get to you, Jordan. I love
just
it.
Only one.
You got your own podcast. I'm going to point to yours and link in the show notes. You got to subscribe. I rarely like to give the competition a tip, but the Air Jordan or named TK is a must listen.
There's a lot of repetition. I wrote down 3 overrated.
Okay.
I'll give you one.
You can give me 3. It's fine. It's if you've done the work and the homework, I'll
It's
take
okay. I need to say En Naka just because, not because it's a bad restaurant, but it's not very good. And it's always placed on a pedestal for years. And, a Michelin demoted it, but, LA Times has it high, and they're packed. And so I just think it's overrated because I don't think it's a very good restaurant. Simone in Venice, it's also not a bad restaurant, but after 3 visits with too many lowlights, I can't call it a good LA restaurant, but LA food media seems to be enamored with it. And I'm gonna drop the hammer. Republique.
Yeah.
And I can say this because I've been 30 to 40 times.
Yeah.
It is inconsistent, it is stagnant, and it's too expensive for what you get.
Yeah.
And then underrated, my man Shunji. See, I'm repetitive. It's one of the best sushis in the country, yet LA barely appreciates it, and it's bizarre. I'll leave it there at Shunji. I had 2 others as well.
Yeah. Let's keep. I mean, if you have another underrated, or up to you.
I mean, horses.
No.
Everyone's forgotten about horses.
Nah.
The controversy is over, and the place is still doing 300 covers a night, and treating people well and doing good things.
Well, I think we've covered that from guests who've been on the show. I mean, it's obviously brand new. I mean, new leadership there. It's not the bozos who were there before, and it's a really, really beloved neighborhood restaurant.
Yeah, and the beauty is it's not new leadership because one of their chefs that started with them, Brittany Ha, who left during all the issues, came back. And I think the food is better than ever now.
Right, totally. That's what. Yes, correct. It's somebody who knows the place, but it's not the same people. Yeah, definitely.
Not the same people, but someone that had the original DNA.
I mean, and like front of house hasn't changed, and they have a whole energy there that people like. I haven't been there. I've only been there once, and I think it's on my list when I'm heading back to LA. Just get eyes on it. Great call there. Great call. That restaurants can actually weather storms. When there's some foundational issues, but correctable issues. And
absolutely.
And squirrel and horses are 2 examples. Jordan, overrated, underrated?
Oh, man. The overrated LA list is thick, Matt. Look, Max and I, we do not understand Simone and Pizzeria Bianca. We are in constant confusion of both of those. People are lost in the camellia sauce because of their love for Courtney and Charles, but it's not near the level of Tsubaki and Ototo. Firstborn was a snub on the 101 list. That seems fair. The owners of Baru are lovely people. People need to take it easy. We've talked about Baby Bistro and how Tajal needed to relax with that review and just let the restaurant and Miles do what they do without the tsunami of hype. But that cucumber cream top pine nut cookie was quite delightful.
The cookie once again getting some ink.
It's crazy. She didn't understand the cookie at first. She wrote, and that was one of the only things I understood, and really fell in love with that Baby Bistro. And then underrated, I would say Sushi Sonagi. It's just being completely ignored, especially by the LA Times 101 best restaurant list 2 years in a row. It's just criminal. It's borderline negligent. Subscribers could probably sue them over this.
There's some litigation in order. I want to close. Thank you guys for this time, and I again just love your show. Let's talk about the show. Next year you're going to be making some changes. Expanding the scope. I'll start with you, Jordan. It's your namesake show. I mean, Max has been riding shotgun for a long time. What are some of the changes you're making, and what are you looking to do?
Yeah, I mean, the podcast has really been some pump up the volume, pirate radio, guerrilla art.
Yeah,
that we are going to take in a more focused and legitimate, broader direction. Especially when it comes to talking about exploring food in restaurants and pop culture, outside of Los Angeles. So I think the comedic DNA of the show will remain the same with a new name. There were rumors we were going to be called Chewish. We're not.
Oh my God.
And so a new look is coming in early 2026 that won't solely be focused on Los Angeles the way Air Jordan has.
Well, that seems apt because both of you travel and know not just LA. I mean, Max, how do you see this expanded scope working?
I see it just broadening our scope and broadening our audience and bringing more things to light that aren't just LA focused. And I think that that's what we both want to do. We also want to do more interviews. We also maybe want to expand the show to have more than one episode a week. There are a lot of things in the works. And we're looking forward to making this more of a thing than just this pirate radio LA food podcast. It's going to be much more.
Well, I look forward to the rebrand, though I'm happy to hear that the comedic roots are remaining firmly in the soil because it's a very funny show. Max and Jordan, thank you so much for joining This Is Taste.
Thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Matthew, thank you.
This Is Taste is hosted and produced by Eliza Barbanel and me, Matt Rodbard. The show is edited by lead producer Clayton Gumbert and supervised by Pat Stango, Director of Media Production and Development at Penguin Random House. Thanks to Shalia Harris and the production team at Penguin Random House. Theme music by Steve Rydell. Episode portraits by Louise Zergan Pomeroy. Logo design by Ellie Skirzat and Ian Dingham. Visit Taste online at tastecooking.com and make sure to subscribe to our newsletter to keep updated on all cool things in the world of taste.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Mint is still premium, unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.